Shall we turn right?
Turn right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, to head towards back to Clark Foster's.
So one of the things that really interests me about the property investment ecosystem is, that people talk about loads and loads of different strategies, right? So rent to rent, rent to SA, service accommodation, houses in multiple occupation, HMO, deal sourcing, and lease up, so many, right? But like, for you, is there like a best strategy? I'm sure it's specific to each individual, but like, which one? Like, what's your outlook on all these strategies, and what do you consider to be the one that works best for you and your situation, perhaps?
I think it's quite simple. It depends what resources you have. I think if you're looking to buy your time back, I think deal sourcing is a good avenue to be able to source a deal, sell the deal on, get a fee of 5k. Or get a fee of 5% of the purchase price, depending on how you do it. And so that can essentially buy your time back. And then also, if you're looking to learn the whole property game, deal sourcing is a great way of learning without having to put your own cash into the deal. And so you can begin to learn, all right, let me learn how to source, sell it on. Let me learn how to source, get private finance to get the deal. Let me learn how to source, joint venture with someone in order to sort of kind of to go 50-50 on the deal, so to speak. And stuff like that.
I guess deal sourcing is one of those strategies where you learn almost end to end the whole property operation. But you kind of don't have to take on you're taking on risk, but not the financial risk if you're JVing with someone, right? And I think when you begin to learn, it's a numbers game. Then yes lives in the land of no. So you have to explain that one. That went over my head.
Yes lives in the land of no, where you have to speak with 50 people to get a deal. When you're speaking with 49 people and they say no, it shouldn't put you off, because you know that, hey, it's an opportunity to sort of kind of get closer to the deal, so to speak. And that's that. So you know that if you call up a certain amount of people, you reach that critical mass of someone's gonna want what you're offering.
Okay, no, I am familiar with that concept. There's a book called Go for No. And I get it, it's almost like fail your way to success, because a lot of people, I think it's human nature to be disheartened when a door closes in front of you, but it's almost like if you understand that that's just part of the process of getting to the yes, so every no is one step closer to getting a yes, you wouldn't feel bad. You would literally just dust yourself off.
Indeed.
And just go to the next number on the list. Keep calling.
Correct. And I'm realizing that ultimately you could have a property portfolio. Yes, you could know how to do a rent-to-rent strategy, buy-to-let strategy, but to really make it into a business, you have to understand sales and marketing.
Definitely, 100% agree.
So marketing is the awareness game. You let people know that you exist. Sales is the game of putting money into your bank account. Ultimately. And so if you can learn that those two skills are available, marketing and sales, it means that you can create a business from this whole property thing, which is not based on guesswork, but based on numbers. You know your numbers.
So practically speaking, marketing and sales in the property investment sphere, what practical steps have you taken, or do you plan to take, to really apply, marketing and sales to your business?
Well, simple. Marketing is letting people know, hey, I'm available to help you sell your deals. I'm making people aware of that.
So practically, how do you do that?
How do I do that? I use the phone. I think the phone is the best. It's the best sort of way of doing it, and I follow up. So
like cold calling.
I don't call it cold calling. I'm not trying to close people straight away. I'm looking to call people to say, hey, can I send you some information on how I can how I can help you sell more investment deals. That's not a cold call.
But if it's out of the, if it's out of the blue, the person's never like spoken to you before.
Not correct.
Yeah.
But I think I'm positioning it as a warm call.
Warm calling. Okay.
As a sense of, I'm not trying to sell you anything straight away. I'm looking to send you some information.
Yeah.
So it becomes information marketing.
Right.
Let me send you some information on how I can help you with this.
Yeah.
Or, if this is what I typically do, I'm not trying to sell you immediately. I'm just looking to sort of kind of say, hey, this is what I do. You might not be interested straight away, but if I call you 2 weeks down the road, then you might be. I remember there's a HMO deal I sold in Hull a week ago. Right. But ultimately, how that deal was able to come through was...
Can you talk us through that deal, just like general high-level specs?
Yeah, so it was a 6-bedroom HMO in Hull, in a student area. Basically, the numbers on the deal was 135k purchase price.
Yep.
ROI on that deal was 23%. I think total costs on that deal, 40k, something along those lines, the deposits and stamp duty and everything like that. So it was quite a high yielding deal, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so managed to get that deal to our investment network.
Yeah.
2 or 3 people viewed the deal.
Yeah.
And 1 person managed to snap that deal up. But in terms of what I was speaking to you about, I had to follow up with our agent weekly for 5 weeks.
Right.
To get him to trust me to sort of kind of give me that property deal.
Yeah.
6 weeks. 5 to 6 weeks of follow-up. So it's that sort of thing of, if you know that you have value to give, you're not so quick to want to do business straight away. Okay, all right, this might take a while. We're going straight over. This might take a while, but I'm not worried about this being short term.
Yeah.
Let's sort of kind of take our time here with this deal.
Okay.
So to speak, I'm really building a relationship.
All right. So moving on to a slightly different topic. People say you have to educate yourself, just generally in business and in life. So like what books or resources are you using right now? Like, what book are you reading right now? What audio book are you reading right now, or podcast, or whatever, that's helping you, in this whole endeavor?
I touched upon Think and Grow Rich before.
Yeah.
Last month, I was religiously studying The Science of Getting Rich.
What's that? Is that a book?
It's a book by Wallace D. Wattles. I think in terms of Think and Grow Rich, it actually stems from that book. The Science of Getting Rich. This is the original book.
Oh, so The Science of Getting Rich came before Think and Grow Rich?
Yep. And the whole premise of that book is that to become successful, you've got to do things a certain way.
Yeah.
So if someone spent 10 years, they build a portfolio, they're doing well in a particular way, they've actually done it a certain way. So you have to do it that certain way in order to... We'll go straight over here.
Okay.
We have to do things a certain way in order to really benefit from people who have maybe made the mistakes, to avoid you making that mistakes. But I think what's even more important is to do things a certain way. You have to think a certain way.
Right.
Because if your thinking is clouded with this will not work, if your thinking is clouded, I haven't got the resources, I haven't got the time, then you're not going to execute upon what you know. Hence, 80% straight over.
Yeah.
Hence, 80% being psychology, 20% being mechanics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this taking us back to...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a different route. But,
okay, yeah.
No probs. All right, so think a certain way. So what was that? Science of Getting Rich and Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
So obviously that's quite high level in terms of you must think a certain way in order to get rich. But like, what is the way that you must think, and what is the way that you are now thinking based off of that now?
The way I think now is environment beats willpower. And let me break that down.
Environment beats willpower.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I mean by environment beats willpower is that if you're in the essence of people doing something, you're gonna have a new possibility of what's possible.
So basically, be around people that are doing the thing that you want to do.
Correct.
Even if you are not there yet, or even if you don't even have like the motivation, just proximity, right?
Correct.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And so, in essence, if you are being in that environment, you change your neural associations, and it's like before.
Wait. You're using big words. My simple mind needs to calibrate that. Neural associations.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so now here's the reason why people pay lots of money for David Beckham to wear their product.
Yeah.
Okay, because when people look at the product, they have an association of David Beckham with your product.
Okay.
So your brain is sort of kind of say, okay, those two things go together.
Right. Is it
now,
that way?
that way.
Yeah.
So if you are around success, your association now will be success.
I understand that.
You got a new neural association.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that is just by spending time around people.
Yeah.
What your brain sort of kind of associates completely changes.
Right.
So you now associate yourself with success.
So can you give me a practical example of that? Like, who have you? Well, don't have to give names, but how have you associated yourself with, people in that sphere, and how specifically, like, what thing have you achieved specifically as a result of that?
Initially, I was struggling to find investors.
Right.
And I had a limited belief that these investors are not around, possible to get. But I scoured the internet. I tried to find property networks, investment networks, and I found one. And I found myself to get positioned to go up to the Midlands to meet someone who had a large investment network.
You don't want to mention his name, do you? Or... No, it's fine.
And so ultimately, like, with this sort of network, this person had access to 11,000 property investors, and I was able to tap into that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And so the new association was investors are all around. Yeah. Where my other association with investors were difficult to get.
Yeah.
So you have to find new neural associations with whatever it is, whether that be property deals, whether that be finding investors, whether that be raising finance. It's all about how you think.
Okay, that's really interesting, because I guess if we are touching on limiting beliefs, you're essentially saying that of the many ways of conquering limiting beliefs, one of them is just associate yourself with people and situations that have already conquered that limiting belief.
Yeah.
And by neural association, that limiting belief will just disappear, because if you see someone else doing it and you're around someone else like doing it, then why should it be any different for you doing it, right?
Correct, but let me tell you, what's easy to do is easy not to do. We live in a generation where everyone wants everything. Now people are not willing to sort of kind of put the work in and things like this. People are not willing to build relationships. And so if you're able to be that person who's able to find the people who can help you, take you to the next level, then you are going to reap massive benefits from it. Yeah. Because people are not willing to do that.
Okay. Well, that's really, really, really helpful, because I know, like, that limiting belief situation is real, and I think it affects a lot of people in different ways, and it manifests in fear, but also, like, it manifests in someone not even attempting to do what they know is possible. So remember we were talking before about someone that you know who does video edits or something like that, and they're in the property sphere, but what they're doing is they're captioning people's videos for what, £10 or something. And that is a viable business for him or her, whereas that same person could actually be tapping into a very much larger scale. You know, but because they believe that this is the only place that I can slot in. I'm skilled in this, but I can't do anything else, but this is the best I can achieve. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's the limiting belief.
Let me tell you, I think if the information affects behavior. So if your information is in this corona climate that we're in, the best way to get ahead is by buying tissue paper. Then that's what you're worth, tissue paper. But if what you're looking at in this climate of corona,
that one cut deep. I went to I bought like 25 rolls of toilet paper yesterday, so that's all I'm worth.
But I think if I think if your outlook during corona, more property investors are going to be at home. Let me speak with them on LinkedIn. Let me connect with them. Let me maybe find some more deals now, like in this sort of time. Then that's what you're going to be worth, in a sense. So it's changing that particular outlook, not listening to people bulk buying and panic buying, because that's all sort of kind of hearsay. In terms of, you know, we'll know that there's an issue when toilet paper now is £5. If toilet paper is £5, I know that there's an issue.
But, I mean, I have seen certain listings on Amazon and eBay. Of a similar price. I don't know whether a vendor is just trying it, but I have seen toilet paper being listed for a ridiculous price recently. But I get your point though. I get your point.
So, you know, I meant that in the shops, because of course, you know, people can resell stuff. And then that's a viable way of, you buy it from the shops and then maybe you resell it. But my whole overriding point here is that you make sure, like, what information is going into your mind. Is it information from your uncle? Is it information from your wife? You do it right here. Like, what information is going into your mind, and making sure that information is information that can only make you stronger, push you forward. So where other people are playing on defense, you're playing on offense, because you know that everything brings opportunity. A booming market, recession, coronavirus, SARS, anything brings with it opportunity.
No, that's true. That makes sense. All right, man. So we're almost, you know, back at yours. In terms of closing remarks, if you were to give your top tips on property investment for anybody who's looking to get involved, what would you say?
I'll take it back to what I've mentioned before, and I really think it's quite clear. 3 steps. Create a desire for what you want. Like, what do you want and why do you want it? Make sure that's quite clear. Have a plan of doing it, and by having a plan, look at who's doing it. Success leaves clues. Model what they're doing. And if you have that burning desire, you know why you're doing it. You have a definite plan that's based on success. Then it's the perseverance to keep on working that particular plan. And that's it. It's keeping along those sorts of things. And it's really sort of kind of being in the proximity of doing, or being around people who are doing what you want to do. Because ultimately your brain will be taken over by what's in the news, or there's no more football, Premier League football. But you shouldn't be worrying about that anyway. You know, that's not your concern. So it's really sort of kind of being in the environment of people who are doing what you want to do, and really sort of kind of focusing on that. And once you have that, really focusing on that thinking. because the brain is a 2 million year old device that is programmed, designed to keep us safe. Look at the panic buying.
Yeah.
People, are just sort of kind of willing to give you a punch in the nose for some toilet roll these days.
I saw a clip on that about that. Yeah. On that.
So, ultimately it's being fully in control, knowing that your brain is there to protect you.
Yep.
And so finding ways to feed it new information to propel you, not to stop you.
Cool, man. Listen, man, been a good drive. Good catching up. And lastly, 2020, we're in still in Q1. What would you say by the end of 2020? What do you hope to achieve, property and otherwise?
So far this year, I've sourced 2 properties. I want to have sourced 20 by the end of the year. 20 properties sourced. Bought 1 property using private finance.
Nice.
Yeah. So
20 properties sourced. Yeah. 1 property, private finance. Do you have like a financial figure that you're looking to amass, or is it not even about that? Is it more just...
It's not really about that. I think it's, if I've sourced 20 and I sold those on,
then you should be good.
It means that I'm quite proficient.
Yeah.
And stuff. But I think it's that sort of stage where if you can source 2, you can source 20. If you can source 20, you can source 100.
Absolutely.
And things like that. So, yeah.
Cool, man. We'll do the
elbow
spots.
No.
Obviously, no corona.
No corona. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Nice one.